What if I told you that everything you think you know about your life could be rewritten with just one idea? That a single thought, a single shift in perspective could unlock doors you didn't even know existed? Imagine the weight of all your fears, doubts, and limitations lifting because you chose to embrace one concept, one truth that changes everything. That idea is already inside you. It's been whispering, nudging, waiting for you to pay attention. And the moment you do, your life begins to move in a direction you've only dreamed of. You've lived most of your life reacting to circumstances, to other people, to the opinions that surround you. You've been conditioned to accept limits that were never meant to define you. And in the quiet moments when the world fades away, you felt it, the pull towards something more, something greater, something that makes your heart race and your mind wonder if you were made for more than what you've settled for. That feeling is the echo of this one idea. It's not complicated, it's not flashy, and it doesn't demand perfection. It asks for something far more powerful: attention, belief, and the courage to act. When you allow this idea to take root, it begins to shape how you see yourself. Your fears become signposts instead of stop signs. Your failures transform into lessons instead of proof that you aren't enough. Every choice you've been hesitant to make suddenly becomes an opportunity to grow. Momentum begins to build silently at first, almost imperceptibly, until one day you wake up and notice the world around you feels different. You notice possibilities that were always there but invisible to you before. Doors that once seemed closed are now inviting you forward. And you realize that all along, the only thing standing between you and this life was the decision to embrace what you already hold. This one idea is your invitation to step into power. It's your chance to stop waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, or the perfect version of yourself. Transformation does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who dare. And what's waiting for you on the other side of that courage is a life where your potential is no longer a question, but a reality. Your confidence grows. Your choices become sharper. Your energy aligns with your purpose. You begin to move through life, not as someone who hopes for change, but as someone who commands it. By the end of this video, you will see this idea not as a vague concept, but as a tool you can use every single day. You will understand how to cultivate it, protect it, and let it guide you toward the life you've always wanted. You will see that the smallest shift in thinking can ignite unstoppable momentum. That one idea can become the blueprint for your rebirth. The moment you embrace it, nothing will feel the same. You will see the doors, feel the energy, and understand the power you've always had. Stay with me, because what you are about to discover could change everything. Have you ever stopped to consider how much of your life is defined by invisible limits? How often you have told yourself, I can't, I'm not ready, or it's impossible, and accepted it as truth? Those limits are not real. They are the stories you've been told, the fears you've inherited, the doubts you've repeated so many times that they feel like facts. Every boundary you see, every obstacle that seems immovable, exists only because you have given it power. The moment you recognize this, everything shifts. You begin to see that your mind has been both your cage and your key. What has held you back is not the world, it's your belief that the world has the power to hold you back. Your potential is far greater than you have allowed yourself to believe. Every hesitation, every excuse, every fear is a signal that you are standing at the edge of growth. The discomfort you feel is not a warning. It is proof that you are alive, that you are meant to rise, that you are being invited to step into a life that challenges every limit you once accepted. The people who achieve greatness are not stronger, luckier, or smarter than you. They are willing to confront these illusions of limitation. They choose to act, to push past fear, to persist when every part of them wants to stay safe, small, and comfortable. This is where transformation begins. That single idea you have, the one that feels almost too simple to matter, is your tool to shatter those walls. It asks you to look at fear, doubt, and resistance not as threats, but as signals. It asks you to see that every moment of hesitation is a crossroads. One path leads to stagnation, the other to expansion. When you step forward despite discomfort, your mind begins to rewrite the rules. You start to notice opportunities where you once saw dead ends. You begin to sense possibilities that were invisible to you before. Each choice to act, no matter how small, chips away at the limitations you once accepted. Every decision builds confidence, clarity, and strength. Your mind is capable of far more than you realize. It is a factory of creativity, a well of resilience, and a generator of solutions. When you embrace that one idea, you activate this power. You see that the boundaries were never fixed, they were suggestions, and you have the authority to ignore them. The world responds to those who refuse to be constrained by fear or self-doubt. Every time you push past a perceived limit, life expands around you. Challenges no longer feel like walls, they become stepping stones, invitations, and proof that you are evolving. The reason to pay attention, to stay engaged, is simple. Your life is waiting beyond the borders you have accepted. The freedom, the confidence, the energy, and the clarity you crave are all accessible. They are not random, and they are not distant. They are the natural result of recognizing that your limits are illusions. Every time you confront them, you grow stronger. Every time you act, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That one idea will guide you to see the world not as a series of restrictions, but as an endless landscape of potential, waiting for you to step into it fully and without hesitation. What if you could see the hidden opportunities that surround you every single day? Opportunities that most people pass by without even noticing. Life is full of moments that can change everything, but they are invisible until your mind is trained to recognize them. That one idea you carry is not just a concept, it is a lens, a way of perceiving the world that reveals paths, connections, and possibilities that have always existed. Most people live in autopilot, walking through life without awareness, missing chances because they are distracted, doubtful, or too afraid to notice. Awareness is not passive. It is active, deliberate, and necessary. It is the skill of noticing the invisible, the courage to see the potential that others overlook, and the discipline to act before hesitation claims your opportunity. Every moment is a crossroads. The choices you make in the quiet, unseen parts of your day determine the trajectory of your life far more than the dramatic events you remember. That one idea sharpens your perception. It trains your mind to focus on what matters, to filter out distractions, and to recognize signals where others see noise. You start to notice the patterns, the doors that have always been open, and the invitations hidden inside challenges. When you are aware, you are ready. You anticipate opportunities before they become obvious. You act decisively while others hesitate. Awareness amplifies your power. It turns simple choices into strategic actions that build momentum, confidence, and influence. The world rewards those who see clearly and move decisively. When you cultivate this awareness, you start to understand that success is not random and growth is not accidental. It is the result of consistently noticing, seizing, and acting on opportunities that others cannot perceive. The one idea you hold becomes alive when your senses are sharpened, when your mind refuses to settle for mediocrity, and when your focus is relentless. You begin to anticipate what is possible and position yourself to take action before the chance slips away. Awareness is a skill that compounds just like effort. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, and the more opportunities you attract. Fear, doubt, and distraction will always test your awareness. Your mind will want to retreat to comfort and familiarity, convincing you that you are not ready, that the moment isn't right, or that the risk is too great. Ignore it. The very discomfort you feel is proof that growth is happening. That one idea thrives when you pay attention, when you sharpen your perception, and when you refuse to let life pass by unnoticed. Each opportunity you recognize and act upon strengthens your confidence, reinforces your belief in yourself, and accelerates your transformation. When you commit to awareness, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Every challenge turns into a lesson. Every problem becomes a solution waiting to be discovered, and every interaction carries meaning. That single idea no longer lives only in your mind. It begins to shape your reality. The more aware you become, the more the world aligns with your potential. You begin to see life as a landscape of endless possibilities, waiting for you to step into them fully, boldly, and without hesitation. Awareness is the gateway to action, momentum, and transformation, and it starts with your decision to see what others cannot. Have you ever felt the pull of something greater, something inside you urging you to move, to act, to break free from hesitation? That feeling is not random. It is the call to courage. Every idea, every vision, every spark of possibility requires action to become real. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to move forward despite it. Fear will always appear, whispering doubt, magnifying risk, and tempting you to stay small. But every step you take in spite of fear strengthens your resolve, reshapes your identity, and accelerates your growth. That one idea you hold becomes alive the moment you act. Without action, it remains a thought, a dream, a whisper of potential. With action, it becomes a force capable of transforming your life completely. Courage begins with small decisions. It begins when you refuse to let fear dictate your choices. It begins when you take responsibility for your life, when you decide that waiting, hesitating, and overthinking are no longer options. Every choice to act, no matter how minor it seems, builds momentum. Each movement forward is a declaration that you are willing to confront discomfort, challenge your limitations, and embrace the unknown. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The first step is always the hardest, but each successive step grows easier because action fuels confidence and experience validates possibility. That one idea will demand courage because it will ask you to step beyond familiar patterns, to challenge what you thought was safe, and to face uncertainty head on. Transformation is impossible without this willingness to move through fear. The mind will resist, convincing you that it is safer to stay where you are, that failure is unbearable, or that the timing is wrong. This resistance is not a warning. It is evidence that you are on the edge of growth. The discomfort is a sign that you are confronting something meaningful, that you are stretching into potential you have never fully realized. Choosing courage transforms fear into power. Each time you act despite doubt, you rewrite what is possible for yourself. You prove that your limits are not fixed, that you can endure more, achieve more, and rise higher than you ever imagined. Action also teaches in ways thought cannot. It exposes weaknesses to strengthen them, illuminates clarity through mistakes, and reveals resilience you didn't know existed. Hesitation delays learning, action accelerates it. The momentum you gain compounds, carrying you forward faster than planning, dreaming, or hoping ever could. Courage is not reckless. It is intentional, calculated, and relentless. It is choosing to do what needs to be done, even when your mind tells you it is too risky, too hard, or too soon. That one idea cannot change your life without courage. It requires that you step into discomfort, that you meet fear with persistence, and that you act decisively with faith in your own potential. When you embrace courage, the world begins to respond differently. Obstacles no longer feel like permanent barriers. They become opportunities to demonstrate strength. Your confidence grows, your clarity sharpens, and your energy aligns with your purpose. Every action taken in courage multiplies your possibilities, opening doors that were invisible to hesitation and fear. That one idea begins to shape reality, turning dreams into tangible results. Courage is the bridge between where you are and where your life can be. Each time you walk across it, you step closer to a life defined not by limits, but by the extraordinary power you have always carried within yourself. Every transformation begins with a single action, and every action compounds into momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Each small step you take, each decision to move forward despite fear, builds energy, confidence, and power that grows faster than you realize. That one idea you have cannot thrive in isolation. It needs movement, it needs execution, and it needs the accumulation of small wins. The actions you take today, no matter how minor they seem, are the foundation for extraordinary results tomorrow. Momentum is not created by grand gestures alone. It is forged in consistency, discipline, and the refusal to quit. Small wins are proof that change is possible. They are evidence that your choices matter, that effort yields results, and that your life is not static. Each victory, no matter how incremental, validates the courage and focus you have cultivated. These wins accumulate, layering upon one another until progress becomes unstoppable. Momentum transforms effort into results, fear into confidence, and uncertainty into clarity. It allows you to move faster, think sharper, and act with precision. That one idea you hold begins to accelerate, not because it is magical, but because you are deliberately creating conditions for it to flourish. Every step compounds, every action multiplies, and the results begin to appear in ways that feel inevitable. Consistency is your most powerful ally. Motivation comes and goes, but momentum endures. It is built in the quiet, unseen choices, the daily commitments you make when no one is watching, the effort you invest when the outcome is not immediate. These are the moments where transformation silently takes root. That one idea grows stronger with every disciplined choice, every act of courage, and every small step that reinforces your vision. Momentum cannot be rushed, but it can be cultivated. It turns effort into habit, habit into routine, and routine into unstoppable progress. Fear and doubt will attempt to slow your momentum, but each act of persistence diminishes their power. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to reinforce your commitment. Every challenge is proof that you are moving beyond limits you once accepted. Momentum does not eliminate difficulty. It equips you to handle it with clarity, strength, and confidence. The more consistently you act, the more resilient you become. Your mind begins to align with your purpose, your decisions sharpen, and your energy expands. Momentum is not just forward motion. It is transformation in motion, accelerating your growth and turning ideas into tangible reality. That one idea becomes a force because of this accumulation of action. It gains weight, authority, and influence as you continue to move. Your confidence rises, your vision becomes clearer, and your life starts to respond in alignment with your effort. Momentum is proof that small, deliberate steps create extraordinary results. It teaches you that transformation is not a matter of luck, timing, or external conditions. It is the result of persistent, focused action taken in alignment with your highest potential. Every step you take now compounds into exponential growth, turning possibility into reality, dreams into results, and that single idea into the foundation of a life that is unstoppable, inevitable, and fully alive. Your mind is the soil in which every idea, every action, and every achievement takes root. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. If you allow doubt, fear, and negativity to dominate, your potential will remain dormant, buried beneath layers of limiting beliefs. But when you consciously cultivate a mindset of growth, resilience, and possibility, your ideas gain power, your actions gain clarity, and your energy aligns with what you are truly capable of achieving. That one idea you carry cannot transform your life unless your mind is fertile, open, and ready to nurture it. Your thoughts are not neutral. They shape your perception, dictate your choices, and ultimately create the world you experience. Every belief you hold about yourself acts like a lens, either magnifying opportunity or obscuring it. A growth-focused mindset allows you to see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and setbacks as temporary obstacles rather than permanent limitations. You begin to approach life with curiosity instead of fear, with determination instead of hesitation, and with confidence instead of self-doubt. That one idea flourishes in this environment. It becomes more than a concept. It becomes a guiding force, a blueprint for transformation that your mind is now equipped to recognize, embrace, and act upon. Your mind is also the source of resilience. It is where you rehearse courage, where you challenge excuses, and where you rewire limitations into possibility. Each thought you cultivate feeds action. Every belief you reinforce shapes momentum. When your mindset is aligned with your highest potential, obstacles that once seemed insurmountable become manageable. Fear loses its grip, doubt diminishes, and clarity emerges. The one idea that can change your life begins to grow because you are no longer an obstacle to yourself. You have become the enabler of your own transformation. Discipline of the mind is crucial. Protect it from negativity, from the voices that diminish you, and from the excuses that delay progress. Surround yourself with thoughts, ideas, and influences that expand your possibilities rather than shrink them. Each conscious effort to shape your mind amplifies your capacity to act, to persist, and to transform. That one idea becomes unstoppable when your mind is fortified with focused belief and clarity. You begin to see patterns that others miss, recognize opportunities that others ignore, and move decisively when others hesitate. A strong mindset also creates emotional freedom. It allows you to act from confidence rather than fear, from purpose rather than obligation, and from potential rather than limitation. Your energy becomes magnetic, attracting the people, circumstances, and resources aligned with your vision. That one idea no longer exists solely in thought. It begins to shape your environment, influence your actions, and accelerate your growth. Mastery of your mind is not a luxury. It is the foundation for extraordinary achievement. It ensures that every choice you make, every step you take, and every action you commit to moves you closer to the life you have always imagined. When your mind is aligned, disciplined, and open, your potential is limitless. That one idea becomes a force that cannot be stopped. It grows, multiplies, and transforms not just your circumstances, but the very essence of who you are. Your thoughts, beliefs, and mindset are the invisible architects of your reality. Nurture them, sharpen them, and allow them to serve that idea, and you will see the impossible become inevitable, the uncertain become clear, and the life you have dreamed of begin to unfold in ways you never imagined. Every transformation demands that you step beyond the comfort of what feels safe. Growth never happens inside walls you have built to protect yourself. Those walls, the habits, routines, and familiar patterns, offer security, but they also keep your potential locked away. That one idea you hold will not thrive in safety. It calls for courage, for discomfort, and for deliberate action that stretches the boundaries of what you thought was possible. Every time you push past the familiar, you expand your capacity, proving to yourself that limitations are self-imposed and that true power lies just beyond the edge of comfort. Comfort is seductive because it feels easy, but ease does not create greatness. It does not forge resilience, sharpen focus, or cultivate the strength required to seize extraordinary opportunities. Every moment you resist the pull of growth is a moment you surrender potential. That one idea thrives when you deliberately step into discomfort, when you challenge what you thought was safe, and when you choose progress over ease. Each act of stretching beyond the familiar is a vote for the person you are becoming, a declaration that you are willing to endure temporary struggle for permanent transformation. Fear will rise, doubt will whisper, and uncertainty will pressure you to retreat. This is the test of your commitment. Growth is measured by your willingness to face these sensations and continue moving forward anyway. That one idea will become alive in the space where fear and discomfort exist. Courage is not absence of these sensations. It is action in spite of them. Every time you act despite hesitation, you strengthen the bridge between who you are now and who you are meant to become. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the doorway. Step through it repeatedly, deliberately, and with focus, and you will discover power you never knew you had. Breaking your comfort zones teaches resilience. It rewires your mind to handle uncertainty, adversity, and change without surrendering. Each challenge you face expands your tolerance, your confidence, and your ability to act decisively. That one idea cannot change your life without this expansion. It needs your willingness to confront the unknown, to test your limits, and to redefine what you believe is possible. Every moment you choose discomfort over stagnation strengthens the foundation upon which your transformation is built. Your environment responds to this shift. People, opportunities, and circumstances begin to align in ways that were invisible before. Doors that seemed closed start to open. Challenges that once seemed overwhelming feel manageable. Your energy, focus, and clarity amplify, attracting the resources and momentum needed to accelerate your growth. That one idea becomes unstoppable when paired with a relentless commitment to stretch beyond what feels safe, to embrace discomfort, and to act boldly. Each step forward compounds into exponential change, turning obstacles into opportunities, hesitation into courage, and dreams into tangible results. Transformation is not found in comfort. It is forged at the edge of what feels familiar, safe, and certain. That one idea demands that you stretch beyond these boundaries every day. When you do, you realize that you were never limited by your circumstances. Your true limits existed only in the stories you told yourself, the excuses you repeated, and the fears you accepted as truth. Step beyond them. Allow discomfort to shape you. Let courage lead your actions. That one idea will guide you, and the life you have always imagined will unfold because you chose growth over comfort, expansion over stagnation, and possibility over fear. Discipline is the bridge between ideas and results. Without it, even the most powerful thought remains just a thought, a possibility that never manifests. That one idea you hold requires daily commitment, unwavering focus, and the courage to act consistently even when motivation fades. Discipline is not punishment. It is a declaration of self-respect. It is the choice to honor your vision, your potential, and the life you are capable of creating. Every time you choose action over procrastination, persistence over excuses, and effort over comfort, you strengthen the foundation that allows transformation to occur. Discipline transforms chaos into order, doubt into clarity, and potential into results. It creates the conditions for momentum to flourish. When you commit to small, consistent actions every day, you are building a force that cannot be stopped. That one idea grows stronger because you are actively nurturing it. Repetition, focus, and intentional effort compound in ways that feel almost invisible at first, but over time, these disciplined actions accumulate into undeniable progress. Momentum feeds on consistency, and every step you take reinforces the belief that change is not only possible but inevitable. The world is full of distractions designed to derail focus and diminish effort. Fear, doubt, and the opinions of others constantly press against your progress. Discipline is the shield that protects your energy, your focus, and your potential. It allows you to stay aligned with your goals, to prioritize what matters most, and to act decisively even when conditions are imperfect. That one idea cannot reach its full power without the structure that discipline provides. It is the invisible engine that transforms thought into action, action into momentum, and momentum into transformation. Discipline also builds resilience. Each act of consistency strengthens your capacity to endure setbacks, handle pressure, and continue moving forward when challenges arise. Failure is not the opposite of progress, it is a component of growth. Discipline ensures that every failure becomes a lesson, every obstacle becomes an opportunity, and every delay becomes fuel for persistence. That one idea thrives in this environment of commitment, proving to you that your potential is far greater than any temporary discomfort or challenge. Every day your choices compound. The effort you invest now multiplies into results that will shape the course of your life. Discipline aligns your energy, sharpens your focus, and amplifies your courage. It allows that single idea to penetrate every aspect of your reality, influencing decisions, habits, and outcomes in ways that feel unstoppable. The life you imagine is not created by fleeting motivation or wishful thinking. It is created by deliberate, disciplined action repeated over time. When you commit fully, when you act consistently, when you protect your focus and honor your vision, that one idea transforms from possibility into reality. Discipline turns potential into proof, hope into achievement, and intention into unstoppable momentum. The strength you build in these daily choices becomes the foundation for a life of extraordinary results, a life where fear is no longer a barrier, doubt no longer dictates your decisions, and your true potential becomes undeniable. Every disciplined action you take is a vote for the future you deserve, and with each vote, your transformation grows stronger, more tangible, and inevitable. Your energy is your most valuable resource, and how you manage it determines the speed and magnitude of your growth. Focus, clarity, and action all stem from the way you channel your energy. That one idea you hold can only manifest fully when your energy is aligned with your purpose, when every thought, every choice, and every action is infused with deliberate intensity. Energy is not something to be wasted on distractions, doubts, or fear. It is the fuel that transforms intention into reality, the force that drives momentum, and the power that makes consistency and discipline effective. When your energy is scattered, your potential is diluted. Progress slows, clarity diminishes, and action loses impact. That one idea struggles in an environment where your attention is divided and your vitality is misused. But when you intentionally cultivate and protect your energy, everything changes. You act with precision, focus becomes effortless, and your decisions carry weight. Energy fuels courage, strengthens discipline, and amplifies momentum. Every step forward becomes more effective, more powerful, and more transformative. Your emotional state is inseparable from your energy. Anxiety, doubt, and negativity drain it, while confidence, clarity, and belief magnify it. That one idea begins to expand in your life when your emotions support action rather than resist it. Cultivating emotional alignment is not passive. It requires attention, self-awareness, and practice. Each choice you make to control your reactions, to focus on possibility instead of limitation, and to channel your energy toward meaningful action strengthens your capacity to achieve extraordinary results. Energy directed with intention becomes unstoppable. Your body is a vessel for your energy, and how you care for it impacts everything you do. Movement, rest, nutrition, and focus create the physical conditions for mental clarity and emotional resilience. That one idea thrives when your body supports your mind, when your vitality is abundant, and when every action is executed with full presence. Energy is a multiplier. It makes momentum faster, decisions sharper, and courage deeper. Ignoring it slows growth, undermines confidence, and delays transformation. Attention is another critical form of energy. Where you place it determines what grows in your life. If you dwell on fear, doubt, or obstacles, those elements expand. If you focus on growth, opportunity, and action, they flourish. That one idea begins to dominate your reality when your attention is consistently directed toward its execution. Energy and focus together create acceleration. They turn small steps into exponential growth, hesitation into decisive action, and possibility into tangible achievement. Your energy is the invisible force behind every transformation. Guard it fiercely, direct it intentionally, and cultivate it relentlessly. That one idea will expand only as far as your energy allows. When you align your mind, emotions, and body, when you channel your focus with precision, you unlock a power that makes fear irrelevant, doubt powerless, and obstacles temporary. Energy transforms ideas into action, action into momentum, and momentum into life-altering results. The life you desire is a reflection of the energy you bring to it. Harness it, protect it, and let it drive you toward the extraordinary reality that is waiting for you. Your focus determines the trajectory of your life. The mind can wander, distractions are constant, and the pull of comfort and habit is strong. Yet, where you place your attention shapes everything, your thoughts, your actions, your results. That one idea you hold can only grow in a field where your focus is undivided, deliberate, and consistent. Every moment spent scattered, uncertain, or reactive dissipates potential. Every moment spent aligned with purpose multiplies it. Focus is not just concentration, it is the act of directing energy, intention, and effort toward what matters most, relentlessly and without apology. Clarity and precision arise from focus. When your mind is clear, your choices become sharper, your actions more powerful, and your confidence unshakable. That one idea begins to dominate your reality when it occupies your attention fully. It transforms from a concept into a force that drives decision-making, accelerates momentum, and shapes results. Distractions fade, doubts diminish, and hesitation loses its grip. Focus acts as the lens through which possibility becomes visible, opportunity becomes tangible, and action becomes inevitable. The world will always attempt to steal your attention. Noise, opinions, fears, and endless inputs compete for your energy. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who merely dream is the ability to protect focus. That one idea cannot thrive in a cluttered mind. It demands deliberate attention, disciplined energy, and unwavering commitment. Every choice to resist distraction, to center your mind on purpose, and to prioritize what matters strengthens the force of your transformation. Focus amplifies courage, fuels discipline, and multiplies momentum until progress becomes inevitable. Focus also strengthens resilience. Challenges, setbacks, and uncertainty will test your attention, tempting you to give in, to wander, to procrastinate. Every moment you redirect your mind to the task, to the idea, and to the vision you are creating builds strength. Focus teaches the mind to persist, to concentrate energy on what can be controlled, and to ignore what cannot. That one idea expands exponentially in an environment of disciplined attention, proving to you that your limits were never real. They were distractions masquerading as boundaries. Your actions, magnified by focus, compound in ways that accelerate transformation. Small steps taken consistently with intention create momentum far greater than sporadic bursts of effort. That one idea becomes unstoppable when your focus directs your energy, when clarity shapes your decisions, and when attention fuels persistent action. Each choice made with precision strengthens confidence, sharpens strategy, and intensifies the force behind your transformation. Focus turns potential into proof, possibility into reality, and attention into life-altering results. When you master focus, life begins to respond differently. Distractions lose power, opportunities become clearer, and momentum grows. That one idea becomes not just a thought, but a force that influences your decisions, guides your actions, and shapes your environment. Focus creates acceleration, clarity, and alignment. It allows the extraordinary to become inevitable. Protect your attention, direct it deliberately, and use it to serve the one idea that can change your life. Every moment spent focused is a moment invested in transformation, and that investment compounds into the reality you have always been capable of achieving. Your habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They shape your days, define your actions, and ultimately determine the trajectory of your future. That one idea you carry cannot flourish in chaos, inconsistency, or neglect. It requires structure, repetition, and deliberate choices that reinforce progress. Every habit you cultivate either supports your vision or undermines it. Small intentional actions repeated daily compound into results that are disproportionate to their size. The life you desire is not built in moments of inspiration. It is constructed in the discipline of consistent, aligned habits. Consistency is the secret force behind transformation. Every time you act in alignment with your goals, every time you choose focus over distraction, courage over comfort, and effort over excuses, you reinforce a pattern that drives momentum. That one idea becomes a living force when it is supported by habits that amplify its power. Discipline becomes effortless because it is embedded in your routines. Clarity becomes natural because it is guided by structure, action. And momentum becomes unstoppable because it is fueled by repetition. Habits are the conveyor belt that turns ideas into reality. Your daily choices define your identity. Who you are becoming is the sum of the small decisions you make repeatedly. That one idea grows stronger as your habits reflect the person you are committed to becoming. Every decision to act deliberately reinforces confidence, sharpens focus, and deepens resilience. In this way, habits are not just routines. They are the physical embodiment of your transformation. They teach your mind, train your body, and align your energy with the vision of the life you are capable of creating. Resistance will always appear. You will feel tired, distracted, or unmotivated. You will encounter excuses that seem reasonable, voices that argue for delay, and internal pressure to surrender. That is precisely when habits matter most. They carry you forward when motivation fades, when discipline wavers, and when fear whispers for you to stop. Habits turn action into default behavior, ensuring that progress continues regardless of external circumstances or fluctuating emotions. The more you rely on aligned habits, the less you rely on fleeting willpower, and the more unstoppable your momentum becomes. Every successful transformation is the result of repeated, intentional actions. That one idea becomes tangible when supported by habits that reinforce its purpose. Daily commitment creates momentum that compounds faster than inspiration alone could achieve. Clarity, focus, courage, and energy all converge when your habits align with your vision. Each small choice is a vote for the life you desire, and these votes accumulate until transformation is no longer optional. It is inevitable. Your habits shape your environment, your identity, and your results. They are the invisible scaffolding that holds your vision in place while you act, grow, and expand. That one idea reaches its full potential only when supported by habits that magnify focus, reinforce discipline, and channel energy toward consistent action. The life you have imagined is not built in a moment. It is built in the quiet, deliberate daily work that compounds into extraordinary outcomes.